Hey everybody, welcome to our first Diesel Dreamers call of February. It's February 2nd, 2016, so crazy. Tonight I am handing it over to Julia, who's going to do an awesome call about how to share the opportunity with people and not sound salesy and icky and just, being real, which she does a great job at sharing her authentic self. So I'm just going to give it over to her. And if everyone can put themselves on mute, please. I'd appreciate that. And take good notes, pay attention, and you go, girl, rock it.
All right, I'm gonna try to share my screen. Before you guys mute yourself, actually, I want to hear some of your biggest fears. Someone tell me, like, what's one of the things that scares them? No one?
Rejection.
Okay, rejection. That's the biggest one. Someone saying no, right?
Yeah.
I'm not good enough.
You're not good enough. Okay, in what sense? Like, good enough to be a coach?
Yeah. Or, to help other people. That who am I to
Yeah.
I'm not an expert or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I also get scared about that, about not being enough of a support for any challengers that I might have, and not helping them be successful in finishing the programs or the groups.
Yeah.
What will people think?
Exactly. So those are all things that I still struggle with. Yourself. I just wanted to hear that's all the same stuff that goes through my head, and I'm sure you all have been there at some point if you still don't think that. But I'm hoping that we can go through the PowerPoint today and go through this, and hopefully you're not as scared about it afterwards. So a lot of what I say, I'm actually pulling from what I've gotten from other calls or personal development books, which is awesome. So make sure you're getting on that PD. Let's see, now I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Let's see. Can you see the PowerPoint? Cool. All right. So we're going to talk about sharing Beachbody. And the first thing I want to talk about is not being afraid. So we're all afraid. And the biggest thing is we're nervous about inviting somebody or talking to someone because we're worried about what they're going to say. We think we're going to be too salesy. All of the things that you guys just said, we're not worthy enough. You have to get over it. So I was reading the Motivation Manifesto the other day, and one of the things that was huge for me, and I posted about this, is that your fear, for the most part, is just your ego. So unless you're in the woods getting chased by a bear that's about to kill you, or someone's holding a gun to your head, something like that, where you're actually in physical danger, most of our fears are just our ego. And the worst thing that could happen is someone says no. Maybe worst case scenario is someone's I can't believe you're doing this selling thing, blah, blah, blah. I've heard that. I don't remember who said that, but someone was talking about how they just really got put down. And the thing is, you need to also believe in yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself, if you think that you're not good enough, then that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we don't want to think that. If you're a coach, that was an awesome step in saying, I am good enough. I appreciate my imperfections, and I'm going to use those to help other people. So again, worst case scenario is no, which actually just means not yet. I've had so many no's where people come back months later and they say, okay, I'm actually interested. So don't get caught up in that. It's a self-limiting belief. Okay. And one thing that I struggle with a lot is I feel like I'm burdening or bothering other people, when in reality, what we're doing, we're giving people an opportunity. We're actually helping people. So if you're going about this the right way, you are helping people. You're not just doing it for the money. I don't know how many of you out there are just doing it for the money. I don't think any of you, honestly. We're here to help and inspire other people. That's noble. What we're doing is noble, and it's not a bother. It's not a burden. And if people think that, then they can just They don't have to be your friends, it's just, they can get over it. And you need to think about what Beachbody has done for you. So I'm not going to go into, what it's personally done for me, but I think we all have stories at this point in how Beachbody has benefited us, either physically, we've either lost weight, or we feel better emotionally, mentally. And honestly, I think everyone on this call has experienced all of those things at some point. And so it's about sharing our story and seeing how Beachbody has impacted us and helped us, and trying to give back to others. So we're just really trying to pay it forward. So I think most of you were actually in the last call I did, but I wanted to put this back in here. I think we all need to do a self-assessment, and honestly, everything I'm saying here today, it's a reminder for me too, because I don't follow all of these things all the time. But in our last 3 to 5 Facebook posts, can someone tell that you are a coach, that you help run accountability or challenge groups, that you mentor others, that you are there to help support other people in some form, and that these people could find success with Beachbody in some way as well? If you can't, if someone can't see that just through your page by looking at it, you need to start posting more. You need to start putting yourself out there and publicly inviting in this way. So it doesn't have to be a direct invite every time you post, but make sure, if you're posting even a picture of yourself, mention Beachbody somehow. Like almost every post I do is Beachbody related. Some of the yoga and climbing, not necessarily, but I'm trying to do that as well. So make sure you guys, make sure people know you're a coach. I don't know last thing about this. I don't know if you saw on my wall today, one of my acro friends, big guy, he posted a picture of him drinking a Sonic milkshake. And he tagged myself and my other friend, Heather, who is an acro yogi and a Beachbody coach, and said, Heather and Julia, am I doing this right? #Shakeology. So I just thought that was kind of funny, but at the same time, what I'm doing is getting noticed by people that I'm not necessarily targeting. And that's awesome. My friend made me an essential oil called Beachbody Babe. Things like that. Like, you're putting yourself out there and people are responding to that. Okay. Let's see. So we do a lot of public posts, and that doesn't necessarily mean people are going to come to you and say that they need help. They might just like your post and never comment. Or they'll put a comment underneath of it, but they'll never privately message you and say, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. And sometimes they aren't interested, but sometimes they are, and they just are too afraid to speak up. So even if you're posting, that doesn't mean you're going to get invites. So you need to be privately messaging people, inviting them into your challenge, our challenge groups, our business opportunities, all those things. So again, those public posts, they're important, but they're not everything. A lot of what you do is behind the scenes. So you need to start personal. I know Paulina and Emily both had people message them, and I had this last month, people associated with Roden and Fields, is that what it's called? And they just copy and paste a script, which, yeah, we have scripts, but you need to personalize them. So the one that Emily had shown, there was still a quote on the end of it. Like, you could see it was clearly copied and pasted. I think Paulina said hers didn't even have her name on it or something. So you can't just message a person and say, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. What can I sell you? Or something. I mean, you're not going to say that in the first place, but look at their page. Think about where you have similar interests. So for me, one thing that I can relate to is going into grad school, I had to look at a lot of different professors and see who you matched up with, who you had interests with, and kind of create a message that said, hi, how are you? Like, this is what I find interesting about you, and here's how I can help you as well. So not that you need to woo people, but you need to get a little personal. So hey, Brittany, I saw, you just had a baby. Congratulations. Your baby is so cute. I love the pictures. Keep it coming. Things like that. Just start with a personal conversation. People are more likely to respond. And if you want these people to be your potential clients or coaches, you should be forming relationships like that. Every single person that is one of my coaches, I care about personally. And that's extremely important. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Next, messages. The shorter, I think, the better. When you're sending a message to somebody, just think about how long of a message you would read. If you're typing a novel to somebody, they're probably going to stop halfway through. They're going to be like, oh, she's trying to sell me. He or she is trying to sell me something. Just going to stop reading. So the shorter, the better. People have short attention spans. They might only see part of the message pop up on their phone. So short and sweet is probably better for the most part. When you message people, make sure they know that you think they are important, because they are. Again, if you're messaging them for a reason. You either think they would make a good coach, or that they would do well with the program, or they might need it for some reason, or they're already in great shape and you think it would be beneficial to them in some way. And on that note, I think it's important to imagine that every single person that you message is already a definite coach or a definite customer. Because when you have that mindset, people feel that energy. So, the more positively you respond to them in that way, the more I think people feel that. I think I've told Christina and Melissa this before. On my board, I'll show you guys. I have a board of all my coaches. And on the bottom, I have a little thing here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says future coaches. And I have the names of people that I want to be my future coaches. Every single person that is a coach under me now has been on that board at some point. So I think envisioning that is extremely important. They've done studies with kids in schools, and they found the same thing. If you believe in a person, they're more likely to show up in that way, that you believe in them. Let's see. And I don't have scripts on here, but one thing when it comes to making a person feel important, one thing I often might say when I'm sending an invite is, I wanted to personally invite you because of X. So I wanted to personally invite you because you already are doing these super awesome workouts, and I think this would be beneficial for you. I wanted to invite you because you have a great energy and you're already posting about like these awesome healthy recipes, or these like, things along those lines. Make sure they know that you're inviting them for a reason. Let's see, the next one, you are doing this with them. So if you're doing this with them, I think that makes you less of a salesperson. So when I invite someone, I'll say, I want to personally invite you, and I would love to have you do this program with me, or I would love to have you join me in my challenge group. And that's going to help me be held accountable too. So don't make it sound like you're above them, because for the most part, you're probably doing the challenge too, except if you're eating mac and cheese. I'm messing with you, Paulina. But yeah, for the most part, you're doing the challenges with them, and you should be participating in some form. All right. And also, I kind of went over this, but be aware of your energy. Bonnie Engel is really good with this. Be optimistic, be enthusiastic, because if you are not confident in what you're talking about, that's going to show. So if you're having like a really shitty day, if you're having a really crappy day, honestly, like I just would wait. If your power hour is during a time when you're like really upset about something, don't invite people then. Wait, go work out or something, and then invite after that. Because if you have a crappy energy, everyone's going to know, and you're not going to be as upbeat, and it's not going to work in your favor. And I've noticed that with me. Like, I'm less if I don't have the mental clarity I need, it's harder for me to talk to people. And if they're giving me objections, I'm more likely to say, oh yeah, I understand, instead of, yeah, well, I understand that, but here's how it's worked for me. Here's how I'm paying this off, things like that. So really think about the energy you're giving off before you start inviting people. Okay. And we're always talking about challenge groups, but don't forget to invite to become a coach too. And I do kind of have a little bit about how I message people with this. So I want to invite you to my next sneak peek / biz op call. I'm focusing on expanding my team, my squad, my whatever you want to call it. And I think you'd be a great fit. So you don't necessarily have to talk about how this, you know, like how you've had, just make it very positive. Make it very, I'm doing this. I am a boss and I want you on my team. You know, if you are here to build and you want to make something of yourself, which I know at least everyone on this call, I hope you do. I know I do, that you need to come off with that energy again. So don't say, you know, I came across this, I kind of found it, and I think I want to work on my team. And if you want to join, no, I want to invite you. I think you would make a great fit. And honestly, when I am looking at people that I want to be potential coaches, I'm not going to invite someone that I don't really vibe with. Christina and Melissa are great examples who are on this call. They're two of my coaches. And I feel like in a lot of ways, we're very similar. We come from similar backgrounds, education-wise. And I think our personalities are similar in a lot of ways. So you're not going to want to find someone who is the opposite of you. So really think about what you're looking for in a coach. That way you don't have to lie to somebody when you invite them. You actually are interested and care about this person and want them on your team. Because if you guys don't know it or not already, your team is your family, and your friends. So that's extremely important. So once you invite people to the business op call or the sneak peek, because they're going to say yes, because you're going to be like, you know, let me know if you're interested. There are no strings attached. It's just 3 days of these posts or 30-minute call, something like that. They'll say yes. And chances are you're not hosting the call yet. None of us have. Paulina's about to do a biz op call. And so what I've said before is with Christy's calls is, oh, you know, the call is hosted by a friend. I'm not going to say by my upline's upline or anything like that. You know, I've met Christy. I've seen her posts. So in that case, I can say, yeah, the call is being hosted by a friend who, you know, was a lawyer, and she's made so much of herself in this business that she became her own boss. And now she can stay home with her kids, and she is an awesome person. So even though you're not hosting the call, you're still making it more personal. You know, people know that you're not just throwing them in this and saying, bye, hopefully you want to be a coach. And another important thing is we aren't in this alone. You know, by having this call, you can see there we have a family, we have a community, and they need to be aware that your coach or your potential coach or customer won't be alone either. You're going to be there with them to help guide them along the way. And this should say Beachbody is so much more than sales. But yeah, Beachbody is so much more than sales. I know we all have different experiences with it, and I think for the most part it's been positive. I've come out with friendships from this. I met Estefania, and I hung out with Paulina for this. That was the second time I met you, Paulina, at Summit this past year. I think we all had an awesome time. We were all in the hotel together, and it was fun. It was a really good time. And also, I don't know if you guys have realized it yet, but Beachbody is a lifestyle. Like we're trying to be healthy. We're enjoying ourselves. We're working out. We're posting about it. It's so much more than just getting products to people. And that's what a lot of these companies are. And it's about being real. You are going to attract coaches and customers that are similar to you. I I think scripts are important in a lot of ways. It helps you to start, just build a foundation of what you want to say, but you need to personalize things. I can be really inappropriate, like just really inappropriate and curse a lot. And I'm not going to just be like, hi, yes, how are you today? I would really like to talk to you about this program. No, that's bullshit. I don't do that. So I'm not going to talk that way. So make sure you guys are always being real. Before I ask you guys for questions, because I hope you guys have questions, I want everyone to remember our calendar. Paulina already had posted earlier today. The last day to apply for the push is the 3rd, which is tomorrow. So you guys should all be doing it. It's an awesome training. The first push, I didn't win it. I didn't get any money out of it. I didn't, hit diamond at that point, but it was an awesome training. I learned so much from it. And also the important prospect dates. Keep these in mind because you need to be inviting people to these opportunities. The live BizOp call with Paulina is on the 7th. We have the 5-day clean eating group. So if you know people who might be interested but don't want to spend money, invite them to that. For the fixed group, it says suggested. I know I'm going to start posting and try to get people interested for that. And then the 3-day sneak peek on the 17th. So put that on your calendar as soon as possible if you haven't already, and make sure that you are inviting people in enough time to get them into those different groups. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns.
That was amazing. Anybody have any questions before I share my takeaways? Speak now. No, not yet. Okay. Well, super awesome. I hope you upload the PowerPoint into the group so everyone can have it and review it. I think you hit a lot of nails on the head. It's so true. Like, we have to share this opportunity. And like you said, we can't treat it as a burden because it's not. If we're going in it with our hearts and truly like believing in the products, believing that they work, which we should because we're using them, talking about like how this has changed our personal lives, how we can help others, and really caring, like Julia mentioned, it's not just about, setting our message and not even like knowing who you're talking to. Like, you have to be forming and creating those relationships every single day, and that will definitely like build your confidence as a coach. It will help your credibility as a coach, and it will inspire people to be attracted to you. So definitely don't be afraid. There's nothing to be scared of. No one's going to kill you for sending them an invite on Facebook. Like she said, the worst that could happen is someone says no, and honestly, 98% of the time, if you stick with this and you're here a year from now, that person will probably reach back out to you and be almost begging you to add them to your group because they see you kicking butt on your journey, getting results, helping people get results, and they're going to want a piece of that. So believe in yourself, super important. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you either. So if you have to fake it till you make it, do it. Do your personal development every single day, and that will help you definitely improve your mindset in all aspects. Okay, self-assessment, also very important. If you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort and you're not getting any results in your business, do a self-assessment. Figure out exactly how much time you're putting into it. Are you doing the 3 vital behaviors? Are you posting on social media? Are you posting the right way on social media? Like, the whole point of this call is to talk about and educate each other on the, I guess, more successful ways of doing this. And social media is huge. You have to be constantly learning and improving. When I look back on my time hop and some of my challenge group promotion pictures come up, I'm just like, this is horrible. Why would anyone want to buy hip hop apps from me just because it's on sale for $140? Nobody cares. So you have to be constantly tweaking your method. Like she said, being real and sharing from your heart. Don't, come off as a salesperson because nobody likes that. You're trying to find people who need this, and you're going to be the one who's going to provide it to them. So we are there to help and serve. Private messages. I love how she talked about that you're going to be doing it with them. A lot of people get scared because they think, okay, she's going to sell me this thing, drop off the face of the earth, and then I'm stuck with this box and this shake that I have no idea how to use or what to do with, and they're going to give up, or they're not even going to try because they think they're going to give up. So we have to be believing in them and showing them, okay, like I've helped, obviously myself get awesome results. I help lots of people every single month. We're doing it together. It's a support group. We're going to be there every single day sharing our accomplishments, our struggles, what we need help with, any questions. The whole point of this is to build a community like we have here. All these people here together, that's what it's about. And it's giving them a piece of that. So definitely keep it personal, keep it short, tell them that you're going to be doing it with them, and being aware of your energy. Like she said, if you're having a crappy day and your attitude is not good, no one's going to want to work with you. You're going to be like that smelly kid in class that no one wants to sit next to. So don't be like that. Be happy, be positive. And I'm not saying that, bad stuff or negative things or whatever crappy things don't happen. It's life. Of course they do. But try to always have a positive spin on things. And if you need a break, take a break. Like she said, go work out. Do what you got to do. But always try to be inviting when you're at your best or you feel happy and you feel confident. Because like she said, you have to think of it. If I was getting a message like this, like she talked about, those girls who messaged Emily and I didn't even give a response. Big NO, like I'm not going to answer you. You didn't even ask, like say hi and use my name. We're friends on Facebook. I don't know who she is. But we're friends on Facebook. She just literally said like, hey, I'm trying to buy a house. Do you want to buy a product for me so I can make a sale? That's not the right way to go around about it. And that's why we need to be leading with relationships and helping and serving, because a lot of people have bad taste in their mouth about network marketing companies because of people who approach it in that way. So let's not be like them. Be the opposite. All right, do your self-assessment, personal messages. Next thing, forming, like I said, caring about people, messaging them for a reason. I love that. When she said, I want to personally invite you because if you get a personal invitation in the mail for like a party or something, or like think about when you were in elementary school and you got an invitation to a birthday party, how good did you feel? Like you got invited. So when you're saying like, I want to personally invite you to this group because, and giving them a reason based off of, either a previous conversation you guys had and they were interested but they never followed through. You see on their page, like she said, they're into healthy lifestyle, healthy cooking, being active, or whatever you can relate to. Say that, be honest, be genuine, but find connections, find common interests, because that will help you build that trust and that relationship, then as opposed to just saying like, hey, I'm looking for, and I'm at fault, I have to do this more often, I have to tweak my invites, but just saying like, hey, I'm looking for 20 women. I want to be more specific. Why exactly do I want this girl part of my group or this girl part of my team? I have to figure out exactly why, and I have to share that with them because it's going to make them feel important, like she said, and help them understand like what it is, why I'm approaching them as opposed to anybody else, So, saying that I think you'd be a great fit, and also giving a reason why. Not just saying that's everybody, because then that's not genuine. I love that you said that we are a family, because I really, really think we are, and I'm hoping that you guys feel the love too. And I don't know why I thought about this, but I thought about this on my walk with Oliver before our call, but I don't know if you guys did it in school. It was like a team building activity where you have a ball of yarn and you throw it across the room and you keep throwing it across the room, and you keep throwing it across the room, and then at the end, like you have this whole like big web. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Well, that's what this is. We have this huge web, We're all a part of the team. We all matter. We're all special. We all bring our unique characteristics and personalities to this. And if one web gets cut, then it starts, all not, well, I don't know how to say this right, but we have to keep our foundation strong. We have to stick together. We have to support each other. We can't just give up. And the same thing with our challengers and people that we bring on board to this opportunity. Don't leave them hanging. We have to keep throwing that yarn across and creating more connections and creating more bonds and friendships and making this an amazing, amazing web that no matter how many times people try to cut us down, they can't. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so I will, this is my promise to you guys, I will create an image to promote the business opportunity post. You guys can create your own. You don't have to copy mine. Just because I'm the one who's going to be speaking on the call, doesn't matter. Create your own. Use mine as inspiration. And start inviting people. Post in your old challenge groups. Talk to your challengers who are presently like in your groups, just saying like, hey, I don't know if this is for you, but if anyone's interested, you know, do you have 30 minutes on Sunday night to watch this? Or, you know, if I send you a link, would you please watch? That's it. It doesn't have to be like this huge complicated thing. Just, you know, ask. Like I said, the worst they could say is no, and it's fine. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? You guys are good? Okay, awesome.
Amanda had posted in the event for tonight, one of the things she struggles with is going from being personal, like saying, hey, how are you, all that, to getting into the business. I don't know, I was just thinking of like transitions for that. And Paulina, do you have a way that you do that? Do any of you have a way that you specifically do that?
I would say is just trying to find those common interests. So if it's an old friend you're like reconnecting with, I know Amanda, you're a mom, so maybe if they have kids too, talking about that, and maybe like putting little breadcrumbs in the conversation, like, oh, you know, I'm so happy that I have my workouts now because I get some time to myself. I get to get some energy back. You know, like little comments here and there about how this experience has helped your life. Maybe it's not like a huge financial success or win yet that you can be like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm home, I retired my husband, whatever. Like, that hasn't happened for us yet. I mean, not saying it can't. One day I sure as hope, you know, that we all go for awesome goals similar to that, or whatever you want to accomplish. But trying to figure out, like, if, you know, you are talking to somebody and they do tell you like, oh, you know, I'm so stressed out. I, you know, don't have any energy. All I want to do is sleep and eat. You know, talk to people. Find out what's going on in their lives, you know. If they're having, you know, issues staying accountable and staying on track, you know, tell them about what you do and how you can help them. Just being genuine and trying to make those connections and those common interests and stuff. I think that helps a lot, as opposed to just randomly messaging someone and not knowing who they are, what they like, what they do, any of that. You know, if someone's telling you they're working 60 hours a week. Sorry, someone's talking. Oh, I think it's Amazon. Sorry. 1 second. Yeah, thank you could tell them how unprofessional your coach is for answering the door while on the call. You could talk about how you show up to team calls in your pajamas and no one cares because we all love each other, and you know that stuff doesn't matter. Sorry, that's like so like. Anyways, just making those connections, and like I said, the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. So as people see you becoming more confident in yourself as a coach and what you do and how you help people, and sharing those little things, like, you know, talking about your challengers, how they're rocking in their group, talking about how you're staying on track, talking about how you're so excited for your future because you know Beachbody's going to help you, you know, travel the world or buy your first house or pay off your credit card debt, things like that. Like, you don't have to be there yet, but having that vision and sharing that vision will help inspire people to want to be a part of that and make it happen for themselves too. So that's my 2 cents. I got my coloring books.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else? You guys good? Awesome. So Team Cup, get your points, help as many people as possible. Stay plugged into our Team Cup Unite group. Apply for the push. Make sure you pay, because I'm the one who's adding everyone to the group, so I can see and I can check your applications. So be sure you follow the steps and you read the email that you get with the link for the group so you can be added in so you don't miss out on anything. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being part of my web. And yeah, yes, Julia.
I wanna take a picture. I have to get my phone.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I have things on my screen. I don't want them there.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you guys are so cute.
All right. Also, get on the wait list for Putankana because we want to be partying on the beach and relaxing at the resort with all of you next year. So be on it. And the way you get off the list and the way you get to be on the trip is by earning Success Club. So help, 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 help. And then awesome things happen. All right. So have a good night. I will put the recording up as soon as it uploads. Please put the PowerPoint in the group too, Julia, and I will get a BizOp call post out very soon. All right. Have a great night. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.